Welcome to setting up for camping in your brand new Sprinter motorhome. We're located on the rear storage compartment on the driver's side of the motorhome, and this is where your wet bay is located. Now the wet bay is where all your water connections are and everything that you'll need to actually hook the coach up once you get to the campground. The first thing we're going to look at is the fresh water connection. Now this fresh water connection is actually through what we call a swan valve. A swan valve allows me to fill my potable water tank and also switch from potable water to city water. So when I get to the campground, if I want to fill up my tank, I turn it one direction. When I want to use the city water connection, which is using the campground water, then I turn it the opposite direction. I've got a hose, and of course you're going to want to make sure that you get a hose that is made to supply water, especially drinking water inside of your motorhome. And as you can see inside of this bay, there is an access panel in the bottom of the bay that allows you to run everything up through. So here I can run my hose up through the bottom of the storage compartment. I will take and I will connect it to my swan valve, and now I can take and I can either use the city water connection or I can flip it so I can fill my potable water on the inside of the coach. And the potable water, that's your fresh water tank. That's the water that you'll have on board when you travel down the road. The next thing that I'm going to do is I want to make sure that I hook up my sewer tanks. Of course, this isn't the most fun thing to do on the coach, but it's really simple. So as you can see, all you're going to need is a 3-inch hose, which you can find at pretty much any camping store. You're going to take that same 3-inch hose and you're going to look for the 3-inch connector that's inside the wet bay. The wet bay has a hose connector. It's got a cap on it, so you want to remove the cap, and then you'll want to take the hose and once again run it up through the bottom of the storage compartment, just like we did the fresh water line. We will twist this hose onto the connector inside of the wet bay. And of course that will actually be clockwise, that will turn that to lock it in place. Also, we can adjust the spout for the black and the gray tank. Now remember, black and gray. Black is where all your toilet water is going to go, and gray is where all your sink and your shower water is going to go. The first thing that we're going to want to do when we want to drain our tanks is pull the handle, which is black for the black water, and drain that tank. And then we're going to want to pull the gray handle, which is for the gray water. We're going to want the gray water to wash out our line and get rid of anything that was toilet water coming out of the black tank. When it's time to pack up camping and get back on the road, it's very simple to disconnect everything that we've just hooked up. The first thing that you'll want to do is you'll want to make sure that your tanks are closed. Now, when we started this, we pulled the tanks open. We only want to leave those tank valves open when we're actually draining the tank. We don't want to leave them open all the time. So we push our black tank in first to close the black water, and then we push in our gray tank second to make sure that it cleans everything in the hose out. We'll rotate our sewer hose counterclockwise, and then we can drop it back through the bottom, and then we have the cover that goes back on the connection. So we just screw that back in place. On this Sprinter model, we're very lucky too, because we actually have built-in sewer hose connection storage. So as you can see here, we can actually take our hose and we can put it inside this storage area here, and it's stored up and out of the way, and I don't have to find a place to put it later. Fresh water is the exact same thing. We'll simply disconnect that. Once it's disconnected, we will take and we'll pull the hose right back out of the bottom of the motorhome. Once we've disconnected that, now we can put our cap back in so everything is sealed back up. Another nice feature on the inside of the Sprinter is your exterior shower. As you can see, I've got a handle here. I've also got a connector up here so I can turn hot water and cold water. That makes it pretty convenient, so when I do have my sewer hose, I want to make sure everything is cleaned out of it. I can simply just use the exterior shower to clean everything out. Finally, one last thing that you'll see on the inside here is your park cable connection. Your park cable connection allows you to use, obviously, cable TV from in the campground area or maybe from your home. And this way you can program all your TVs so you're watching the cable that's provided at the campground.